Pardon me. I'm going to start this video off a little bit different. I'm going to start off with a story. It was 2004. I was arrested in the state of Oregon. 1 in 5 states. California, San Diego County, Pennsylvania, Lehigh County, Allentown, Ohio, Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, and Florida, Broward County, Dade County, and West Palm Beach County. While doing the sentence in prison in the state of Oregon, I was extradited out to Florida first. I was sent to Broward County Jail. They were the first ones that came and got me. There I met Gerard Chili, aka Chili or Jerry. He's a capo in the Bonanno crime family. His last name's spelled Chilli. More commonly, people call him Jerry or Chili. You know, it's spelled, pronounced Keely in Italian, but it looks phonetically or reads like chili, so everyone calls him Chili. Anyways, I get to Broward County and I get to my floor, 6th floor. It's all guys that have been doing time, you know, the kind of like a max security floor, if you will, for Broward County. People back from state prison on appeal, people waiting for situations in the feds. That's what Jerry was there for. He had a state case, a thing called Operation Cold Water, I believe it was called. The Broward County Sheriff had picked him up on. Real bullshit thing. I mean, really sad kind of bullshit thing. But it was political. It's a long story. Jerry ran it down to me. But basically, the sheriff back there, Ken Jennings, had come under fire himself, ultimately getting indicted by the feds, the actual sheriff of Broward County. And he thought he was going to deflect attention off of himself by going after this organized crime figure down there in Broward County. So they come up with these Mickey Mouse little sting operations, and they pick Jerry up. He became my cellie. We became real good friends, and I've hung out with him a few times on the streets, and he ended up passing away with cancer, throat cancer. But learned a lot from Jerry Chili. I'll tell you that. That was a hell of a guy. He was I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Donnie Brasco with I guess it's who is it? Johnny Depp and Al Pacino. Al Pacino plays Lefty Ruggiero or Lefty Guns or something like this. And there's a scene in that movie where Jerry's played by, I don't know who they got to play him, but anyways, what happens is Al Pacino pulls up. He's got the Donnie Brasco guy who turns out to be an undercover FBI agent with him, and he pulls up on this barbershop, and he's got the undercover fed right here in the driver's side. He goes out the window and he says, hey Chili, you know this guy? He says he's from Florida because Jerry's thing was supposedly the Fed said that he had that particular territory, if you will, in terms of like organized crime, racketeering, who runs what part of what county and all that kind of thing. So it was supposed that Jerry allegedly was the boss down there, the capo for the Bonanno family down there. So the Al Pacino's character says, hey Chili, you know this guy, he's a jewel guy or some crap. I forget how the movie goes. But then Jerry comes out of the barbershop. Yeah, that's Donnie. He's from Florida, whatever the hell. They had come across each other in South Florida. So Jerry was in that movie. He was in another movie called hell, I can't remember the title. It starred Tony Danza. It was like a B flick, but it had to do with it had Tony Danza, and I think the guy who played Jerry was it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyways, look it up. It had to do with the Gus Frerotte case. Supposedly, this guy Jerry had for a cellmate in the feds, gets out. They were cellmates in Atlanta. Jerry told me the whole story about the dude, kind of a scumbag. But anyways, the guy gets out and he ends up whacking a DEA agent, kills him, and it's a big thing in Staten Island. He goes on this little drug buy, and the DEA guy gets shot in the head or something like this. And then they go on a big manhunt, and they're sweating Jerry down big time during this time. And he told me the whole story. I mean, he couldn't breathe. They were giving him grief beyond grief you could imagine. I mean, imagine a DEA agent gets his head blown off, and they like Jerry for the guy who introduces Gus Frerotte guy into the situation and in it getting an agent killed. I'll leave it at that. So Jerry, he's been around. I mean, this guy's been around. I mean, for real, been around. I mean, he's told me stories about John Gotti, all kinds of crazy shit about, you know, just old school stuff, man. I mean, real old school stuff. When I met him, he was 63. So, I mean, this was in 2004. One thing I learned from Jerry, it was this. You know, he told me this one time, and it always stuck with me. He said, listen, you want to figure out if somebody's betraying you. You want to figure out if somebody's, you know, playing both sides of the middle. You know, it's kind of a simple thing, really. What you do is you give them information that you only give to them. Nobody else has the information or the knowledge that you're giving them. If you're anticipating, or you can anticipate where their loyalties really lie, or who they're going to for this, you know, who they're playing you against, then give them information that they're going to respond to in a way that you're able to make determination that for a fact the guy's playing you. I mean, he's basically running off and betraying you to another party, another group of people. And he gave me an example of it, and I'm not going to repeat that story, but the bottom line is this. I did that. I took Jerry's advice. I mean, it was the best thing I could come up with. As I've been saying on this channel for a very long time, I've got world's worst attorney. By far, world's worst attorney. So, and I think I mentioned in one of the other videos an incident. We're at the federal courthouse. It was the day Todd the Fraud had did the bait and switch thing on me. He says, "Hey, come down. We're going to fix your GPS or your radio frequency unit for a new one. We're going to get you a GPS unit that's or excuse me, a new radio frequency unit that's in working order." See, he had placed a unit on my ankle deliberately that was not in working order, and I took 300 phone calls in 1 month. He ended up using that 300 phone calls thing and claiming I hadn't taken all the calls, all 300 of them, and returned them promptly enough for his liking, to justify putting a GPS unit on me. Meanwhile, the entire thing was illegal as hell, done completely illegal, huge violation of my rights. But I roll with it. So, long story short, I go into the building. I've got recorders going like, I mean, you have no idea. I always record everything, but I've got probably 4 or 5 different recorders on me, just in case they pull some shit, you know, they're just redundancy, that kind of thing. So we have this huge knockdown and drag out argument, huge argument. It ends up going outside the Fed building. See, they put me on the GPS, and so they got to take me out the building to make sure it's calibrated correctly. So I'm sitting out on the steps of the building. I'm sitting there with Kurt Hermanson, who came down to the bait and switch orchestrated by Todd, and I tell Kurt, I said, "You want to come down there? That's fine, man. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna pull one punch. I'm not gonna bite my tongue. I'm gonna call that liar a freaking liar. I'm gonna call him a scam artist. I'm gonna call him every single thing that I can prove and can demonstrate right to his face." Kurt said, "Yeah, sure, man, just sure. Like, you know, I'll come down there. Whatever you want to say. It's First Amendment, you know, all that kind of crap." So we have this huge argument. You know, I do exactly what I said I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the whole conversation up so you guys can listen to it. Into the conversation, I'm now accusing Kurt, like, "Hey, man, you're with these people. You are with these people. I'm not no fucking idiot. You are with Todd and the court here. You're not with me. You don't represent my interests at all." It just became all too apparent during this argument. There was a couple of positions he took, and the way he continued to defend Todd's blatantly just asinine position. He keep running to his defense. I'm thinking to myself, this guy's a complete fucking, like, literally a very unintelligent man and unaware of the law, which is hard to believe. He's an attorney. I mean, he went to Loyola Marymount, or you know, he's got a law degree, so you know, he's obviously have some intelligence and you know, he understands the law. So I dismissed that right away. Okay, this is not a dumb person. This is a shiesty person. So the conversation, like I said, it goes outside. Todd goes away. He's got to go put the GPS thing on and figure. Sorry, not feeling well. I apologize. He's got to go put the unit into calibration, call the monitoring company, and get all these things squared out. So when we're outside, this is after like an hour of just real aggressive arguing. I tell Kurt, I said, "Listen, man, that guy is gonna get it. The recordings I got on him today, the shit that he says today, he puts both feet down his mouth, I mean down his throat, he swallows his leg. Okay, that's the kind of corny shit that he said this time. I've baited him into several different conversations covering a multitude of topics, and he just takes the bait each time. So now, you know, it's some of these instances are a year removed at this time. So I get him to reiterate what happened and establish that he doesn't argue the things I say, you know, which is to say they're true. They're, you know, I mean, anybody, when you just hear the conversation, the accusations I make, trust me, you're going to argue them if you heard them and they're not true. So, long story short, we're out on the steps of the of the court building, and here comes Todd, and I've told Kurt, hey, listen, this guy, he's done. Like, put a fork in him. He's done. He's officially Todd the fraud for real, because I got him this time good. So, and I show Kurt, I open the bag. I don't got the bag here with me, but imagine I do this. Here's a different bag. Imagine I do this to a bag, right? I grab a bag like this, and I say, hey, and I show him a recorder like this. Hey, look, boom. And he sees a couple of recording devices in there, and he's like, oh, shit, this guy ain't playing. He's recording them. So here comes Todd. Pardon me, I got the screen going. So here comes Todd, and wouldn't you know, I mean, this just floored me. I'm going to let you play the conversation so you don't think I'm just making a wild accusation here. Kurt Hermanson, defense attorney, who hears his client tell him that he's legally obtained recorded conversations about a probation officer supervisor that he's been claiming for over a year has been violating his rights to no end, threatening him, menacing him, terrorizing him. You know, I've made it known my intention to file a 1983 lawsuit against this racist scumbag. Okay. And here is the defense attorney. The first opportunity he can before Todd can even utter another syllable is puts him on point that he's being recorded. I looked at Kurt and I said, hey, wow, okay. At that moment, I knew I had something special for Kurt Hermanson, something real special. So it was that day when I got home that I started thinking about what Jerry told me. He said, you know, how he laid it down to me. He said, hey, you know, you got to give him something that is of value to him, something he's going to feel like the little rat or the little, you know, kiss ass type of guy in this situation, who's going to run back to his real masters, who's going to run back to the people he's really aligned with, and he's going to feel proud to betray you and proud to present this you know, really valuable or useful piece of information. So I'm thinking, what could I do? What could I do to this guy? In what way can I set him up like this? Like I'm trying. It's going through my mind. Like, you know, I'm trying to call him more often and get more conversations going. Trying to, you know, just see what comes to mind. What kind of situation develops from that. And then it dawns on me. I've got the perfect situation. You see, in my case, and you have to see the video on this, they've been pulling a fraud. The courts have, a big fraud. And I've been biting at the chomp to put it out there. You know, I've kind of took a break on the channel stuff of uploading stuff because, you know, for me it was like, this is getting quite serious. As things progressed and I kept the channel, actually what kind of tripped it all up, when they became aware of these certain things I was putting out there, then they started scrambling, trying to make adjustments, amendments, and basically creating a shitload of evidence against themselves. But like all people do, they start like the paper shredding. You know, it's like, imagine, you know, instead of a bunch of CEOs throwing papers in a damn commercial-sized shredder, you know, the feds are coming, they're going to knock the door down in 15 minutes, and they just start dumping all the records and emails. What these guys do is they start going back to the court record and start amending things, rewriting history, basically, or attempting to. These are world-class idiots. I have every single document, the originals. I go to Pacer every single day, and I print the screen every single day. I mean, sometimes several times a day, just to be right on top of any discrepancies, any amendments, any type of rewriting history, basically. They're not going to correct the record, and then I never have the original record, because that's what they're doing. So all they've done now is just give me a shitload of evidence against them. So anyways, let me get back to how I do Kurt up. So they're calling my case every single hearing. You just watch the video, but I'll play it for you. Every single hearing, my case is called, the name of my case, the case number. Let me show it to you so you know what I'm talking about. I get the right kind of document here. It's you see that? That's my case. Anybody with a course knows what this means. There's only one case, there's only one name, there's only one case number, that's it. Now, watch my videos on how they summons that man, Dan Melindo. If you've been watching this channel, you know I'm Michael Reason. I'm not Dan Melindo, okay? They know I'm not. I've called the police on them. They've summoned the wrong person. I stole this man's identity. They gave it to me. I mean, just real quick, just so this video stands alone and doesn't require you to watch a ton of other videos to get caught up. Let me give you a little quick background, okay? Here is some of the documents I gave United States Probation. Pre-trial services, we're talking years ago. We're talking about when I came through this courts on a warrant from another jurisdiction from Florida, and they determined my identity then. Even prior to this case that they're supervising now. I gave them my social security card with my name. I gave them license. I gave them letters from the DMV. Why they wouldn't give me a license? Because of a bunch of fake IDs I had back in the day. You know, when it was easy prior to 9/11, it was pretty simple to do that kind of thing. I told each and every probation officer, each and every one of them, who I was, that I had. Look at that date, 2018. We're talking about the whole world in that office knew exactly who I was. No way around it. Now, again, I'm just doing this so this video will stand on its own. They summons me after all these documents I'm showing you. After all these documents, those are all .gov addresses. They summons me as the victim in my case. That's the victim in my case. He's a DOD employee, one of the victims. Okay, these are all probation officers. That's the ID. So they summons me that way because these lazy dogs refuse to do what they said in all those emails, help me get an identification card and get this problem with the DMV straightened out. They refuse to do that. So here it comes, 8 months later, I pick up a state case, and they tell me, hey, don't worry about it. We're continue on supervision. You're going to stay on supervision. There's nothing to worry about. Feds ain't worried about this case. It's a state matter. The state's going to handle it. That's how that's going to go down. Well, 8 months later, literally a few days before the expiration of a term of supervised release, that was imposed illegally, mind you, Danielle Desinoy and Todd Cantamesa decide they want to violate my supervision based on an event 8 months prior. Ignore the fact that they had an obligation to tell the court in a timely manner of a Class B violation. That was anything that would cause the client to potentially serve a sentence greater than a year. They blow that out the window. They continue me on supervision, yet they decide to violate me. Now, they got a big problem, though. If they do things correctly, summons me in my correct name, well, they're going to run out of time. The law says if you don't get the summons or warrant issued before the expiration of supervised release, it's over. It expires and it's done. It's a wrap. If you do get a warrant or summons executed prior to the expiration, what it does is it provides the court jurisdiction to proceed with a revocation hearing. Nothing more. Term of expiration or term of supervised release expires as it would otherwise. So that is a well-known fact. So I'm trying to find the document that has that on that. So anyways, in a haste to make sure that this window of opportunity to violate me and screw me over doesn't just, you know, go out the window, they break all the rules. They steal Dan Melindo's identity. They provide me this, right? Watch the videos on this. I go into great detail about it. In fact, this is the actual document. I got to put this one back in safekeeping. They provide me that. I'm going to show it right here because I don't show Dan's social security number. Okay? You read that? That's my face. Try to cover that Social Security number, right? That's what they told me to do. Go to DMV. Now, I just showed you all the documents, who I am. They don't argue it. They know who I am. Fingerprints confirm it. I could show you right now 50, 100 more documents similar. I mean, I could show you my judgment that has my real name on it. I could show you my PSI that has my real name on it. I could show you the court docket for my case that has my real name all over it. After that, they steal this man's identity, instruct me to go to the DMV and commit a crime, present myself as him. Furthermore, go tell me to gain entry into the federal building with this document. In other words, circumvent the entire security apparatus of that courthouse by lying to the court security about who I am, so as to rob them of the opportunity to know who's in the building for security purposes. Obviously, that was the whole point of presenting ID when you get there, so that they can know who the frick is in the building. You don't got a terrorist in here or some kind of maniac. Now me, I got a rap sheet like this. They gave me the ID of a guy who has no record. So, again, all these things are in recorded conversations. None of this is take my word for it, trust me, believe me, bullshit. You're going to listen to the conversations. So, I get instruction. Commit a crime at the DMV. Commit a crime by lying to federal officers. You name it. Now, I scale home and I look at this and I think, this is freaking nuts, man. This is nuts. I give them a few days. Like, if this was a mistake, they're going to ask for this document back. They don't. Well, in response to that, I do what any good citizen would do. Any person who wants to cover their bases and protect their interests, I file a police report for what? Stealing the identity of Dan Melindo. Now, identity theft's a simple crime. It's the act of taking another person's identity, their social security number, their birth date, any of those particulars about a real person, and utilizing it. It's that simple. It doesn't require more than that. So, in that plain definition of identity theft, the United States Probation did not have his consent to create this fraudulent document. Oh, and by the way, do you ever see that letterhead right there? You see that letterhead? Anybody out there? Don't believe it. Even if it says at the bottom, swear to be true, that's a crock of shit. I just proved it, okay? This is a stolen identity document manufactured on a government computer. Another crime, okay? See that letterhead? Don't buy it. It's not trustworthy, point blank, period. Not with these operators that play in that building. So, here we go. What do? I file a police report. You see that? Identity theft. See my name? I give. Here's the narrative I give. Let you read that. I'll keep that there for a minute. Let you guys read that. Okay, so this is serious shit. Now, this is the 25th of February. I go into their office. They call me in. Hey, calling the cops on the United States probation officer is going to get you a trip to the supervisor's office. That's a guarantee. So, I'm awaiting this summons too. They're going to summons me. They're going to say, hey, we're not going to put you in jail. We're just going to summons you, and you're just going to come to court. Well, 25th comes around. I go see Todd the Fraud Cantamesa for the first time. What are we there to talk about? Police being called on his subordinate on his watch. He's the supervisor of that office, Todd Cantamesa, a.k.a. Todd the Fraud, or a.k.a. Todd Can't Tell the Truth Mesa. Okay, so I call the law on his ass. Don't you know that in the middle of the conversation about me calling the police on them for stealing the identity of Dan Melindo, because they know goddamn well I'm not him and only did this identity theft so as to be able to facilitate a personal agenda to put me in jail, Point blank. They knew what the right thing to do was, and they opted to do the bullshit thing because they were thirsty to arrest somebody and see them fucked up, okay? So, crime. Crime, crime, crime. No other way around it. If there was an honest prosecutor in this fucking state, their ass would be wearing cuffs. Point blank. I got the evidence. Nobody can deny. Period. Recorded conversations, recorded video, you know, at my home line on video in their offices. I've been recording them since day one. If you've been watching the channel, you've seen me put the list of over 200 or 300 recordings I got on these people. So they're done. I mean, there's no denying that. It's just a matter of when. So again, here's some of the conversations they had prior to doing this. See those names? Lisa Brown. See this? Who are they talking about? Right? They know who I am. You know, come on. They know who I am. Ain't no denying that. Here's people with the U.S. Attorney's Office. See that? They know who I am. Look at the dates. See all that? See all these people? They know who I am. I'm not lying. See that? Deleted, deleted, deleted. Yeah, they want a deleting party. All of a sudden, all those PDFs of my Social Security card and my ID end up deleted out of the file. I thought the government was supposed to preserve records, you know, for that thing called FOIA and all that kind of stuff. Not start deleting email attachments. Okay, so established they know. So here's what ends up happening. You got Todd the Fraud. Let me get this out for you guys real quick. Summons, where's the summons at? Here we are. You got this document pushed in front of me at the very meeting in which I'm discussing, let me explain what really was happening. Todd the Fraud was trying to fill me out as to where I was going to go with this information and this evidence I had of the crime that was committed. I felt him trying to say, hey, you know, basically, you play it smooth, we'll play it smooth, and I'm thinking to myself, listen, you guys get off my fucking back, and I'm out of your hair. I really don't give a shit about this to that degree. But at the same time, if you're trying to persecute me and violate my rights and prosecute me, by all means, it's on. Like, to the fullest. Like, you're going to know exactly what it is to be pursued because I'm not letting up. I'm relentless. Trust me. Till the day I die. You will get pursued by me with the truth and with the facts on my side. So good luck. So anyways, here comes Danielle Desinoy. I remember clearly. She's got like a pair of sweatpants on, hair all disheveled. I mean, it was not Casual Friday, but trust me, this shit was casual. And this is before COVID, so I mean, there's no. She was just pretty much a mess. So here we go. This gets handed to me. See that filed document with the court? Person under supervision. Look at the name they put. Okay. Look at this. You want to see how why I call him Todd the Fraud? Mr. Malindo. Mr. Malindo was asked to consent. Mr. Malindo was arrested. Todd the Fraud. Any of you jokers, produce a fucking court record that shows the name Mr. Malindo in regards to any of those incidents. And I'll just walk into the Fed building right now and just put my hands out. Okay? You guys are a bunch of clowns. No Malindo was ever arrested. No Malindo was ever spoken to. And you know it. So what the fuck is your problem? I mean, these people are insane. I mean, they're really insane. It's really sick and troubling, the kind of shit that they pull. What's also concerning is their lack of ability to assess the people in which they supervise. What I mean by that is, they must think I'm some kind of schmuck. I mean, world-class fucking idiot to pull that kind of shit in front of me. I mean, read the file a little closer. Go talk to Tony Arvin, the Western District of Tennessee, AAUSA, and ask him if you're dealing with a schmuck. Ask him. Tony Arvin's his name. Ask him. He said, Mr. Reason is a detailed, meticulous record keeper. That's what he said during my sentencing. So trust me when I tell you, I keep everything preserved redundantly. So let's get back to the story. So I've got Kurt Hermanson. These guys are all fucking twisted up to no end. You have to watch the other videos for this shit to make the sense it needs to make for you. I got these guys so spun up, so just running around like chickens with their heads cut off. They're calling cases. Now, this is where I get back on track here. The big fraud that I've identified, proven, and now I'm going to use it to out Kurt as the rat in the fake attorney, and justify and prove to the entire United States, to the entire world, why he's the worst attorney and needs to be disbarred immediately disbarred, is I say to him, Kurt, there's been a major fraud happening here, man. A major fraud. Hold on. I'm not going to tell you what I say. I'm going to let you listen to it.